imagine for a second that everything you believe makes you, well, you.
Right, the whole package.
Yeah, exactly. Your deepest feelings, your most private thoughts, the way you behave in stressful situations.
Even the physical sensation of the chair you're sitting in right now, listening to this deep dive.
Exactly. What if every single piece of that experience is actually, a complete illusion?
It's a totally disorienting premise.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we spend our entire lives implicitly trusting the data our senses feed us.
Right. 100%.
To suddenly be asked to treat your own emotions and your physical reality as a mirage, it just goes against every survival instinct we have.
And usually when you hear a philosophical idea like, reality is an illusion, it feels like a depressing dead end.
Yeah, very nihilistic.
Right. Like, what is the point of doing anything if none of it is actually real? But the text we're diving into today flips that entirely.
It really does.
It claims that realizing your reality is a complete illusion it isn't a fast track to nihilism. It's actually the ultimate practical shortcut to ending every ounce of personal suffering you will ever experience.
Which is an incredibly bold promise.
Seriously.
The source we're unpacking today is an English and Chinese translation of the Heart Sutra, specifically translated by Treasure and edited by Kair.
Yeah.
And it's an ancient, famously dense text. The word count is shockingly short, but it demands this complete dismantling of our baseline assumptions about how the universe operates.
So our mission today is to really tear into this text. For you, the listener, we want to understand the mechanics behind its core claim.
Right, how taking our focus off the tangible things we can touch and feel.
Exactly, and shifting our perception toward the invisible, how that is supposedly the key to leaving behind a distorted world. But I gotta say, reading through the opening, I immediately ran into a wall of terminology.
Oh, sure. It doesn't hold your hand.
No, not at all. The text starts with a figure named Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. And before I even get into his big realization, who or what exactly is a bodhisattva?
Right.
Are we talking about like a god, a historical figure, a rank?
So think of a bodhisattva as someone who has essentially figured out the ultimate cheat code to reality.
Okay, cheat code. I like that.
Yeah. They have attained enlightenment, they understand the game, but instead of leaving the game entirely to just, exist in eternal peace.
Which is what you want to do, right?
Right. But instead, they intentionally stay back in the lobby.
Oh, wow.
The text explicitly identifies Avalokiteshvara as the Lord who looks down with compassion.
Got it.
They stick around specifically to help everyone else figure out how to escape the suffering of the world.
Okay, so we have this highly enlightened guide who is looking at the rest of us suffering, and the sutra spells out his massive reality-breaking realization.
Yes, the big turning point.
It says he attained profound wisdom by realizing that the 5 aggregates are only illusions. And then it lists these aggregates as forms, feelings, thoughts, behaviors, and cognitions.
That's the list, yeah.
When I read that list, I just thought, wait, that is literally the entire human experience.
Pretty much.
Like, is there anything left?
Well, that sweeping categorization is very deliberate. The text is leaving absolutely zero room for loopholes.
What do you mean?
Well, think about how we often try to negotiate with our suffering. We might say, okay, sure, my physical pain might be an illusion, but my emotional heartbreak is completely real.
Right. Or my thoughts are just thoughts, but my actions, my behaviors, those are solid reality.
Exactly. By grouping all 5 of these components together, everything from the physical form of a table to the abstract cognition of a memory, the sutra is locking all the doors.
Locking the doors, yeah.
It asserts that every single mechanism you use to interface with reality is completely compromised.
Man. See, the mechanism, this is what I keep getting stuck on. The text says that realizing these 5 things are illusions was the specific trigger that allowed him to move beyond all suffering.
Right. The realization itself is the key.
And I was trying to map this onto something modern, and I kept coming back to virtual reality.
Oh, that's a really helpful way to look at it.
Yeah. Like, if you put on a highly immersive VR headset and play a horror game, your body doesn't know the difference.
No, your biology completely reacts.
Your heart rate spikes, your palms sweat, you feel this visceral, agonizing fear.
And your behavior changes, too. You might literally dive out of the way of a digital monster in your living room.
Right. You are experiencing genuine suffering, but you're just standing on your rug.
It's true. The VR analogy captures the surface level perfectly, but the sutra actually takes it a layer deeper.
Oh, okay. How so?
Well, in the VR scenario, the game doesn't stop just because you remember you're in your living room.
Yeah.
The monster is still on the screen.
Right, the game keeps playing.
But the mechanism of your suffering changes instantly. The moment your cognition shifts from, I am about to be eaten, to, I am looking at pixels, the terror just evaporates.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because the context changed.
Yeah. Exactly. The sutra argues that our physical perceptions, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, they are essentially the graphics card of this biological VR headset.
That's a wild thought.
They actively mislead us by presenting temporary, fleeting data as permanent, unshakable reality.
But, and I gotta play devil's advocate here, if my body, my thoughts, and all my sensory data are just faulty code feeding me lies,
Yeah.
what is running the server?
Right. What's underneath it all?
Yeah, what is actually real? It feels terrifying to just strip all of that away and be left floating in like nothingness.
Well, you're not alone in that. The text anticipates that exact existential panic.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. Right after establishing the illusion, it pivots to address a student named Sariputra.
Okay.
And Sariputra essentially serves as the audience surrogate here. He's the person hearing this radical claim and trying to figure out where to stand if the ground isn't real.
Okay, so what does it tell him?
The sutra tells Sariputra that the tangible world comes directly from the invisible world. And crucially, it states there are no essential differences between the two.
See, that is the line that really tripped me up.
It's dense.
It says the nature of the world and life itself is invisible, and therefore individuals don't really exist. How can the tangible and the invisible be the exact same thing?
It sounds contradictory at first.
It does, because if I knock on a wooden table, it is profoundly tangible. My knuckles hurt.
Sure. But let's look at it through the lens of modern physics, which, amazingly, actually aligns beautifully with this ancient text.
Okay, physics. Let's do it.
If you take that solid wooden table and put it under a powerful enough microscope, what do you see?
Molecules, I guess.
Right. Zoom in further. You see atoms.
Yeah.
Zoom in further. Protons, neutrons, electrons.
Yeah, right.
Zoom into the quantum level, and you find that the table is actually 99.9999% empty space.
It's almost entirely nothing.
Exactly. It is composed of invisible forces interacting with each other. The table only feels solid to your knuckles because the invisible electromagnetic force of the table's electrons is repelling the electrons in your hand.
So, the tangibility is literally just a temporary manifestation of invisible forces.
Precisely. The sutra isn't saying the table isn't there in a practical sense. It's saying the nature of the table isn't solid.
Its true nature is that invisible emptiness.
Yes. Because it is just a temporary arrangement of invisible forces, it doesn't possess a permanent, independent existence.
Okay, I follow that for the table.
But here's the kicker. The text applies that exact same logic to you, the individual.
Oh, man.
You are a temporary manifestation of those 5 aggregates. Treating yourself as a permanent, unchanging entity is what creates the friction. It's what causes the suffering.
Okay, I follow the physics analogy, but the text takes this concept of emptiness into a territory where I frankly have to push back.
Let's hear it.
It says that because our physical perceptions mislead us, we apply misleading questions to our cognitions. And then it starts listing out these strict dichotomies that it claims are illusions.
Yes, the binaries.
Right, things like ego versus non-ego, wise versus unwise, life versus death, and here's the big one, good versus evil.
Hold on. If good and evil don't exist, aren't we just justifying complete moral chaos?
It's a fair question.
Like if someone breaks into my house, is that just an illusion? We need those guideposts to function in a society, don't we?
It's a completely natural reaction to feel a sense of, moral vertigo when those core concepts are challenged.
Vertigo is a good word for it.
But we have to separate societal function from ultimate reality here. The sutra isn't a civic legal code.
Right?
It is a blueprint for internal liberation. Notice the specific phrasing it uses before listing those binaries.
What does it say?
It says that none of their natures have birth or death, being or non-being, defilement or purity, increasing or decreasing.
So it's attacking the absolute nature of the labels, rather than telling us how to act on a Tuesday afternoon.
Exactly. It's attacking the mechanism of categorization itself. Think about a relatable daily frustration.
Okay.
Let's say you're at the airport and your flight gets canceled.
The worst. Right. And your mind immediately leads to the binary. This is a disaster. This is pure loss. This is a genuinely bad event.
Oh, yeah. Day ruined.
And you suffer intensely in that airport terminal because you have categorized the event as an absolute negative.
Right.
But the fundamental objective reality is simply a piece of machinery is remaining stationary on the tarmac.
Wow. Okay, so the event itself is completely neutral. The suffering is entirely generated by the label I just slapped onto it.
And that label is generated by your aggregates, your temporary feelings, your thoughts, your behaviors, fueled by the misleading data that this moment is a permanent catastrophe.
But it's not permanent.
Exactly. By dropping our desperate need to force every single moment of reality into strict binaries of pure good or pure evil, absolute gain or absolute loss,
Yeah.
we stop applying misleading questions to our cognitions.
We basically stop fighting reality.
Yes. We stop fighting the temporary nature of things.
Okay, let's say I actually managed to do this. I stop labeling the canceled flight as a disaster. I accept that my anger is just an illusion based on temporary data.
It's easier said than done, but yes.
Right, but if I do I just become a numb, passive robot sitting in Terminal B? Like, what is the actual payoff of mastering this? Because the text outlines a very specific result for the bodhisattva.
It does. It describes the state of nirvana.
Right.
The sutra states that by relying on this profound wisdom, the bodhisattva becomes entirely free from worry, overcomes all fears, and leaves behind this distorted, illusory world.
The phrasing there, leaving behind this distorted, illusory world, is really fascinating to me.
How so?
Well, it doesn't say he conquered the world or, like, fixed all the broken parts of it.
Ah, right. Because you can't fix an illusion by rearranging its parts.
Oh, that's good.
If a funhouse mirror makes you look distorted, you don't try to go on a diet to fix it. You just walk away from the mirror.
That makes me think of an immersive movie theater.
Okay, paint the picture.
Imagine you are sitting in a pitch-black theater watching an incredibly intense, terrifying thriller. You're gripping the armrests, your heart is pounding, you are completely swept up in the narrative of the film.
Your aggregates are fully engaged.
Exactly. The fear is real. But then, right at the climax of the movie, the house lights suddenly turn on.
Oh, jarring.
Right. But the movie doesn't stop playing on the screen. The scary images are still there. But because the lights are on, you suddenly see the exit signs, the sticky floor, the projection booth behind you.
The context of the room completely shatters the immersion of the film.
Exactly. The relief you feel in that moment isn't because the hero in the movie defeated the villain.
Right.
The relief washes over you because the house lights reveal that the world the villain existed in was just projected light on a flat surface.
You didn't beat the movie, you just saw through it.
Exactly. Is that what this text means by nirvana?
It is a profound parallel, honestly. Nirvana, in the context of the Heart Sutra, isn't a magical destination or some heaven you travel to after death.
It's right now.
It is the unshakable peace that occurs the exact moment those house lights come on in your mind. It is the complete cessation of worry and fear, because the things you were worrying about are finally recognized as projected light.
That's incredible.
And the text makes a point to emphasize that this isn't an isolated incident. It explicitly states that all Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on this exact same wisdom.
It presents this as the universal formula, like there is no alternative route to the finish line.
It asserts that the only way to attain what it calls supreme authentic wisdom is through this specific mechanism of realizing the illusion of tangible forms.
So we have walked through incredibly heavy philosophical territory today.
We really have.
We've deconstructed the physical body, looked at the atomic reality of invisible forces, dismantled the concepts of good and evil, and turned the house lights on to reach nirvana.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. And
Okay.
you would expect a text this lofty to end with some poetic, abstract conclusion.
Right.
But instead, it takes a hard left turn into something intensely practical. It introduces a mantra.
It transitions from the theoretical framework directly into an actionable tool.
Yeah. The text describes this wisdom as a great spiritual mantra, a great bright mantra, a supreme mantra, and an unequaled mantra.
High praise.
Seriously. It promises that it is genuine, not false, and can remove all suffering. And then the translation provides the actual wording. And this is where I noticed a massive tonal shift. Up until now, we've been in this analytical, almost clinical breakdown of reality.
Very academic, yeah.
But the mantra itself reads like this. Go, go, go. Go to the other shore with transcending wisdom. Go to the realm of freedom. Go to attain enlightenment soon. Just go.
It completely drops the philosophical complexity. It's startlingly direct.
It sounds like an enthusiastic coach screaming from the sidelines.
It really does.
After pages of mind-bending logic about non-being and the emptiness of form, the final instruction is basically just run, just go. How does that fit in with the rest of the text?
Well, to understand the mantra, we actually have to look at the neuroscience and psychology of how our brains handle complex information.
Okay, I'm listening.
When you introduce philosophical concepts like, your life is an illusion and death isn't real, the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for your ego, your narrative, and your overthinking,
It just short circuits.
it tends to go into overdrives. It wants to analyze the emptiness. It wants to debate the binaries.
It wants to write a dissertation on why the canceled flight really is evil.
Exactly. The intellect itself becomes a trap. A mantra acts as a mechanical circuit breaker for that overthinking.
Oh, a circuit breaker.
Yeah. When the sheer vastness of no birth, no death starts to induce panic, or when your physical senses are just screaming at you that your current stress is absolutely real, the text hands you this tool.
Right.
You don't have to try and reconstruct the entire philosophy of invisible reality while you're having a panic attack in Terminal B.
You just grab onto the phrase, it's an anchor.
It's a focal point.
Yeah.
It redirects all your cognitive energy away from analyzing the illusion and points it purely at forward momentum.
Just keep moving.
Right. The mantra embodies the action of taking off the VR headset. Don't analyze the code. Don't argue with the digital monster. Just go. Keep moving toward transcending wisdom. It is the practical, daily application of everything we just discussed.
Wow. Okay, let's pull the threads of this deep dive together.
Let's do it.
We started with the Heart Sutra's radical proposition that everything making up our human experience, our forms, feelings, thoughts, behaviors, and cognitions, are mere illusions. We explored how our physical senses actively mislead us, convincing us to categorize a neutral universe into false binaries of good and evil, gain and loss.
And we broke down the mechanism of how stopping that categorization turns the house lights on, right? Breaking the immersion of the nightmare and allowing us to reach the peaceful state of nirvana.
Utilizing the driving force of the mantra to just cut through our own overthinking.
Right.
As we wrap up today, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final provocative thought to chew on. We spent a lot of time talking about how the text claims your physical perceptions, your seeing, hearing, and feeling actively lie to you.
Right.
If we take that premise seriously, it forces a massive question about your own past. Think about your personal history.
Oh, that's heavy.
The story of who you are, the people who have wronged you, your greatest failures, your deepest traumas.
If every piece of sensory data you used to construct those memories was fundamentally flawed, how much of your personal identity is just a fictional narrative you've been furiously writing based on faulty code?
And if you were brave enough to put that fictional story down, who are you, really, beneath all those labels?
It changes everything.
It really does. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Take that question with you. Look closely at the things you think are upsetting you today and see if you can find the how-to-lights. We'll catch you on the next one.